Welcome, lords and ladies, back to the realm. It's been a while since I've done a video on Homebrew, but as always, the description below will have a link to the full document. Camping is normally, at least in my experience, an underdeveloped part of the game. I believe this relatively weak part of the system leaves a few things out to dry. The first few things left out to dry are related to the encounters that can occur when the players are trying to sleep. Maps for these encounters are often kept loose, as any defining features become something the players want to retroactively interact with, or even, well, I wouldn't have camped near that. So these maps tend to be fairly unintrusive, and because of that, they're also less interesting to interact with. The encounters suffer from a similar issue of feeling too loose, and they also feel disconnected from the actions of the party. Now, sometimes that disconnect is a good thing. On occasion, things just happen, and that's part of real life and can be interesting in games as well. However, I also want encounters that react to the way the players set up their camp, encounters that happen because the players set up their camp. And the GM side isn't the only side affected by this. Several player options, most notably the entire rule set for snares, should shine most brightly in this environment. But because camping is so often glazed over and skipped fairly quickly, they don't get a chance. For these reasons, I present the camping subsystem. This is a lightweight rule set fundamentally built around allowing your players to set the stage and establish a home field advantage. This is primarily achieved by giving them the map and a set of actions that allows them to modify the terrain. This gives more weight to snares and other stationary prep tools which they can use during this time, and it connects the actions of the players to the actions of the enemies in the encounters they may face. Now, this subsystem was originally envisioned for camping on the road during travel, which is reflected in the basic activities. However, it functions just as well in any dangerous environment in which the PCs may attempt to fortify and/or rest. Hiding in a tucked-away room in a dungeon to get some rest, or preparing for a siege whose beginning could start at any moment are great examples of uses for this system. There are 6 basic activities, and they come in pairs. The first 2, pitch the tents and prepare a hearty meal, are more roleplay focused. However, they are both essential. Sure, you could go without eating a hearty meal, but come on, you're camping, you want some good grub, and good grub is good for the mind and soul. Be warned, however, good grub does tend to attract hungry nighttime predators. The 2 actions that'll have the strongest effect on an encounter that occurs overnight are modify terrain and create cover, allowing your players to create or destroy difficult terrain across the map and create blocks of cover to protect and hide behind, literally allows them to change the layout of the map. And finally, what would camping even be without a fire? We have collect firewood and light a campfire. Now, collect firewood isn't necessarily for collecting wood, but more any fuel you can use to sustain a fire. And speaking of fires, your campfires come in 3 stages as they slowly burn down. From a bright blaze that can, I've told, scare away hungry nighttime predators, to a more basic fire that merely lights the area and keeps you a little bit warm, to the coals, which are long-lasting but have very little effect. Now, those are all the basic actions, but remember the full rules for the camping subsystem are on our Discord linked below. Thank you again for visiting the realm. I've been your scribe, the Goat King, and as always, travel with loyal companions.